the Religious Discrimination Bill has been paused, is no longer being progressed.
Having been consulted, the disappointment in all of it is, of course, the fact that we didn't see the bill come to light.
I think for many people, they think it's a bill that allows religious people to discriminate. But it's actually the exact opposite.
It sets a standard of conduct, and it says that if this conduct occurs, there will be legal sanctions.
It protects religious people from discrimination.
It's really a matter of equality.
The only reason why it failed to pass had nothing to do with anything in that bill, but because of a separate debate about removal of exemptions in the Sex Discrimination Act.
There are some very strong and intentional lobby groups who are seeking to suppress and marginalise people of faith. And that division, that polarisation, I think, is weakening the fabric of our society.
There are new dogmas. There are new orthodoxies which are being rigidly enforced.
There has been an aggressive redefinition of what it means to be secular. Secular now means to the exclusion of the religious.
There are certain accepted norms that are being established that if you don't align with them, there's a risk of being pushed to the margin.
It's very important that we honour and acknowledge our roots as a great Western liberal democracy that we are. And part of being a great Western liberal democracy is honouring those freedoms: freedom of assembly, freedom of conscience, freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
Elements of freedom, association, expression, speech and so forth cannot be taken for granted because they are under threat in so many parts of the world.
You look at Europe, there's a lot of things that are being passed through law that are just really derogatory.
The Religious Discrimination Bill would have been an opportunity for the Parliament of Australia, speaking for all Australians, to draw a line in the sand.
And the fact that at a federal level we can't do something as simple as passing a bill that will protect people of faith says that this is not a priority.
People of faith feel that if I express who I am and what I believe, I may be judged, I may be disadvantaged, I may be marginalised, I may be ostracised.
There is a lack of awareness, perhaps, of the needs of the Jewish community. They are elided over, they're ignored to some extent.
As the matter stands, there are no legislative protections. As a Muslim community, we were hoping to get something, just anything.
It continues to not be unlawful to discriminate against a person on the basis of their religious faith.
Particularly post-Christchurch, you would assume that A, religious freedoms and B, religious protections are going to be at the forefront. But unfortunately, that's not been the case.
It just seems anomalous in the 21st century that we don't have a single law to cover the field for all Australians.
If we're going to make good on our claim that we're a thriving, successful multicultural society, we have to make sure we carry that out as a society in practice and that we listen.
As long as there's mutual respect, that's all you need anyway. For a society to be healthy, you just need mutual respect.
Wouldn't it be good if we could live in a society where we could disagree well and have discourse, respectful discourse?
We want to respect people who choose to have no faith. We want to respect people who have a Muslim faith. We want to see a fair and equitable society where everyone's got a chance to reasonably coexist.
And I think the lack of a religious discrimination bill allows certain sectors of our society to impose their values and their vision of life onto other sectors without any discourse happening.
We don't have a bill, but we haven't lost. I think the win in all of this is that we've seen faith groups come together like never before. We've at least formed alliances strong enough to continue the conversation.
And I have great faith in the Australian people and the Australian people's leaders that we can find a better way forward. But everyone's going to have to take a step back, I think, and show a bit of tolerance, a bit of respect, a bit of understanding.
We need to somewhat implore our leaders to ensure that those protections are in place so that on a generational level, those freedoms are not taken away from us all.